let's say that, like, how do you know if it's a good guy or not? How do you know if the guy's just telling you what you want to hear, selling you a dream? Like, how do you know?
Actions.
What if the
Actions.
actions are right? What if that's easy nowadays? We 30 something years old. It's not like when you're 20 and the dude gonna just pick you up and just be like, "Yo, you trying to come through?" Like, I don't know. Like,
Right.
it's not like,
Okay. So,
you know what I'm saying? Like, a dude's gonna, okay, I'll give her flowers. And matter of fact, based on what you just said, if you only go by actions, that means all I have to do is is do these certain things, and she's gonna think that I'm on her. She's
but
gonna think that I'm looking for a relationship.
but here's the thing though. Somebody, okay, men's attention span is but so long. So if their goal is to just smash or whatever, they ain't stretching past 5 dates. They're not. They're just not.
5 dates.
They're not even. I'm just
Who
using
going on
5 days.
5 dates?
I'm just saying
They
they're
got
not.
5 dates.
They're not.
What 5 dates?
Listen, I got stories, but I feel like they're not gonna go past maybe three. We'll give it three. Like they're not gonna go past a certain amount of dates without letting their motive show because the attention. Like if they text you every day, after they not getting what they want after 3 dates, they're gonna they're gonna stop texting. Oh my bad, I got caught up. Now I'm busy. They show themselves eventually, but then also too, I think that in the dating process, how you know is like we talked about yesterday, somebody listening. You know what I mean? Like you could just bring me flowers, but if I never said I liked flowers, then you might feel weird. Like what if I'm allergic? You know what I'm saying? So if you're just bringing it just to think you're doing the right
Oh
thing,
my God.
you're not paying attention to what I'm saying. You're not asking the right questions. I think the pandemic helped too. Virtual dating is a lot easier than actually having to like get out, go somewhere, and waste your time. So like face to face virtual thing, like that's kind of dope too because then I don't really feel committed. I could kind of, I don't know. You see them in their home setting, you can see what's the background looking like. Do it look clean? Do it look dirty? Like you know what I mean? I don't know, but I think that getting to know somebody is something that we need to take more what's the word I'm looking for, we need to get to know somebody before we introduce them to anybody. That's one. And then also two, you do learn things, you do learn through actions. So I feel like dating is
Easy.
necessary.
Man, you sound like you'd be the perfect target to just get finessed.
No,
A little action, somebody first out. And back to the flowers. If you are allergic, you better take those damn flowers anyway and appreciate them,
not
and not let me know you allergic, or at least let me know later on
I
down the
think
line. I don't know.
I think if you but that's the thing, like you can ask like what you can ask questions to get to know somebody. And so you can go on Pinterest and be like, what questions do I ask on a first date? I think even a guy who would go as far to do that is being a little more intentional. Now, I could get finessed, right? But I'm a firm believer that men who are on bullshit show themselves very early.
All right. So how do you know? And you brought up the first date. Let's talk about the first date. What does a first date for you look like?
I,
Like, is it cool to do they have to? Because I saw this thing on South Beach. They were asking people, real quick, just to give you some context. They were asking different people like, "Yo, how much should you spend on a first date?" They were asking, I guess, assuming that they were talking about the guy spending. And then so a couple of the guys like, "Man, he spending shit on the first date. Like, we both going out. Like, I think that's much. That's too much, obviously." And I think it varies with your age. Depending on what age you are, you're gonna see it differently.
right.
But some women were saying, hey, they gotta run it up. Some lady said $1,000. Shorty, you on South Beach spring break? Ain't nobody spending $1,000 on your ass
No,
on no first date.
that's not
But
realistic.
yeah, like, are you cool with just like let's meet at the park? Like
So,
let's go for a
okay.
walk, grab a coffee.
Yes, for the first date, because one is you want to see what level of commitment you're willing to put into this too, right? So I think that some fancy dinner at a nice restaurant is cool, but like it could be loud. We can't really talk. like at the park you can talk, at the coffee shop you can talk. And I think it'll allow you, because I think sometimes doing too much, because can they keep this up? So if you spend $1,000 on the first date, there's an expectation that like, okay, the second date, the third date, or however it's supposed to get better or be more, then it's like he done borrow money from his homie to show you up, you know what I mean? Show off, and then he can't keep that up. So I think, again, it goes all back to intentions. Like, I want to get to know this person. And I do think it does matter with age. Like, now that we're in our 30s, it's like, nah, I'm not even trying to like waste a good outfit, do all. Because for me, and this is what I said too, I'm more of a casual dresser on Monday through Friday, right? So having to do all of that for me is like, this nigga better be on some shit. Like, because I don't know, like the whole fancy stuff. Like, I'm not that girl, but I think, yeah, to me, a park is like low investment for everybody. It's like, let me just gauge it. Then, two, it's like, what park did he choose? If he chooses, what park did he choose? Is there water there? Is there an ambiance? Like, or we just going to, walk down the street? So I think those different things you can kind of see. Does he bring a nice bottle of wine? I'd rather that than
A nice little cheese board.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
but are most women going for that? Like, I understand you,
Right.
but do you think most women are going for that, or are they just going to be like, girl, he was cheap as hell?
No, not anybody dating with intention. No.
All right, so let me ask you this. It seems like you don't care. What do you think getting back to that question that they asked, how much should the budget be for a first date? And I'm asking you from a woman's perspective. I would pay on the first date. Like, I would probably pay.
Yeah.
It would be very hard for me to not pay on any date, to be totally honest.
Right.
Or else I just shouldn't be going.
Right.
That's in my head. Like, if I'm low and I'm down, I just shouldn't really be dating. Like, I need to get on top of stuff. But from your perspective, like, what are you ordering? Are you ordering the most expensive? Are you ordering the surf and turf with all the sides and all the stuff that you would never order on your own?
I'm ordering what I like. And then also, too, like, the time matters. You know what I'm saying? So I think $100, just set $100. Like, as your cap.
$100 a person?
Yeah, first date. Like, all right, in my mind, I know I'm about to spend 100 or less. So if because you could even, I've been on a date where, like, it went from, we went to a coffee shop, then we was chilling and we talking, and then we were like, yo, let's just go grab dinner. Then we grabbed, so it was like, it turned into like a longer
Like the
thing.
popping dates.
Yeah, it was cool. So I think that, in his mind, I'm sure he was like, all right, whatever. And the dope thing about it was he was African, so he was like, oh, I know a dope African spot up north, let's try that. So it wasn't really like, he was giving me, I guess, insight to his world and what he liked in his life. So it was like, all right, cool. Like, I was down to try it. And I wasn't like, how much do it cost to go there or what I got? It wasn't that, because the conversation was so good leading up to that I was like, oh, yeah, I'm down. And it was a hole-in-the-wall spot, but it had good food. So to me, I feel like I'd rather go somewhere, again, with intention that, like, okay, I know this is going to be good, or I know this dope whatever spot. Like, I'd rather do that than sit around and like act like I like this $200 plate that I'm fucking go to McDonald's after. Not usually, but yeah. So I don't know.
I get it. Is it more about feeling special, like just making somebody feel special rather than sitting up tight and comfortable?
Right.
It's like you want to be, y'all. I assume that y'all want to be comfortable, because even going to a fancy restaurant where you got to eat a certain way, or you feel like there's not maybe music in the background, it's more like quiet, you can't really talk real loud and stuff like that. With the music, that's big, I think. Especially when you could start off with the coffee, talking, set the vibe right, and then go somewhere else where you can kind of change the senses, where it's just like, where we may not be speaking as much, voice-wise, because there's DJ maybe whatnot, right. But at least it allows you to just feel each other out.
Right, and also, too, here's another thing. I don't want to go to a bar on a first date. Because, and this is just a personal thing, I think sometimes, too. Like, if the conversation is good, I'm going to become a little bit of a lush. Like, oh, y'all have another drink? And then I'll be like, all right, get your shit together, sis. Like, you know what I mean? Because sometimes if the conversation is good, then the drinks are flowing. I don't want to, no. So, like,
you worried about what you going we gonna be out of here.